All right, before we get started, let's take bets on what our final corn average is going to be. Who wants to go first? I guess Kelly's not going to participate.
She thinks it's going to leave her speechless.
Still trying to get this combine dialed in. I'm having a hard time getting it set. But I ain't gonna lie, I'm struggling. And what I'm about to do, you think really hard on the equipment, but it's actually in the owner's manual to do. As if I don't have enough go wrong as it is, I gotta create more problems for myself. I don't know where Kelly went to, so we'll just go ahead and get this video started. But 60 days now, we haven't seen any rain. Watch the crops go steadily downhill. I guess it's time we go get them out.
Catch them while we can.
Guarantee you, carry the combine in the field. It's probably when the bottom's going to drop out and we're going to start getting rains every other day. Anyway, I think we got everything ready to go. Just got to go get the corn header, get moved to the field, and we'll get started. Now, I've had two local farmer friends that I respect advise me, do not start on a Monday. You're just gonna have bad luck the rest of the harvest season. Well, we've had enough bad luck the last 60 days, so I don't want to push it too far today, but we are going to do a soft start. We're going to try and get the combine out there, get everything set, maybe cut a load or two, and then take off Saturday, Sunday, and then Labor Day, Monday day, we're going to get after it hard, get this corn out as quickly as we can. Sound like a plan?
Let's do that.
You ready for corn harvest? He says yeah. But even if he said no, it's too late. Combine's headed on. I gotta catch him.
All right, before we get started, let's take bets on what our final corn average is going to be. Who wants to go first?
I'm going to be slightly optimistic and give us around the 130 range.
You're a little less optimistic than what I am. I'm going to say 136. What about it, Kelly? What's your guess? I guess Kelly's not going to participate. So Andy says 130.
I guess that answer is she thinks it's going to leave her speechless.
So Andy's guess is 130, mine's 136, and Kelly's going to be speechless no matter what it yields. Well, we're going to get started. I'm not going to bore you with all the calibrations and getting it set and everything else. Let's do a little bit of playing around, make sure everything's going to run right, get everything set, and I'll bring you back.
Man, I got the best seat in the house until this guy comes around. We just took our estimated bushel and acre guess. Kelly said she thinks it's gonna leave us speechless. I'm guessing around that 130. Hopefully a little more, and Matt was pretty much about the same guess as me. He guessed around 136, so that's terrible, but if we can get that, then I'm gonna be kind of surprised. This corn is looking pretty terrible. It looked so good at the beginning too. Just looked so good. Now it's pretty terrible. Anywho, let's cut some corn.
All right, we got our yield monitor and our moisture tester and everything calibrated. Still trying to get this combine dialed in. I'm having a hard time getting it set because just like I thought, we got some really high yielding areas out here and we got some really low yielding areas out here, and trying in varying cob size and everything, and trying to get the combine set to do a good job between both conditions is pretty tough. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm struggling. Now my loss monitor right here was showing pretty high loss out of the rotor, which is a surprising thing. Normally, like the sieve is where I get my loss, but you know, it's doing a good job. You know, it's shelling everything off the cob. It's not splitting the cobs lengthwise or anything. But look at all the corn on the ground. That's, I don't know how many bushels an acre that is. That's several bushels an acre right there. That is, oh my gosh, that is awful. That's right behind the center of the combine. Let's go over here to the edge where we hadn't shelled, see what it's throwing over here. Now, you see all that? That's awful. That is not acceptable. So anyway, I have not experienced this problem before, so I'm gonna get the combine loaded up real good, do a kill stall on it, and try to see exactly where it's coming from and what we need to change. We're gonna get her loaded up good. Loss monitor showing yellow. And what I'm about to do, you think really hard on the equipment, but it's actually in the owner's manual to do. All right, we're gonna stomp on the brakes, pull the throttle back, and cut the key off with it going full bore. And what we're trying to do right there is just stop the separator and everything right in its tracks, not let it clean out and everything, and then we'll go back there in the back and see how the grains laying across the pan and the rotor and everything else, try to determine where the loss is coming from. All right, our first step in checking for loss is, well, we want to make sure that a loss isn't coming from the head, because if we get back there and see a bunch of grain on the ground and assume it's coming from the combine, but it's actually coming from the head, we're kind of defeating the purpose. So we're gonna look right here in the row. I mean, we see a couple tiny kernels right there, but really nothing else. So absolutely very minimal header loss. So what that's telling me, we get back there in the back and see a bunch of kernels, it's definitely coming from the combine. Before we get there at the back, we're directly up under the throat of the combine, so the auger feeds all the corn over here to the center, coming up in the throat. And we're seeing a lot of grain right here, especially right in there. So a lot of our loss is header loss. You can tell I got the header lock engaged, so safety first. Let's see if we can figure out where this is coming from. I mean, look at that right there. That's a lot of loss. Is it leaking past this hood somehow? I mean, the only place it can be coming is coming from up in here. See, here's the hood, and corn is flowing that way. You can kind of see a cob right there, and as it comes by, I mean, that's not sealing off like it should be. I still really can't see the very obvious place where it's coming from. I might have to just stick my GoPro under here and record it in slow motion, drive a little bit, and see if I can figure it out that way. But anyway, let's go check out the rest of the combine. All right, let's look back here on the spreaders, see how much grain is trapped in this chaff. We got a few kernels right there, but that ain't bad at all. kernels on there, but I mean, we're pulling in 38 feet of corn, and it's gonna be spread over 38 feet. That's not a lot of loss. All right, looking back here on the sieves, and it's not loading up on either side of the sieves and running it across the top. You're tickling that, and no seeds falling through, so it's not getting to the back there. Same way on this side also. So we're definitely not getting sieve loss. All right, looking up here at my rotor, I see one problem. This vane right here has worked loose, and it's in the fast position, so it's pushing grain back. It's pushing all the crop back quicker than it should. It should be in this slot right here, just like this one and this one should be. So we definitely need to adjust that vane. And I'm going to tickle the residue here in the bag, see if I can get any corn seed to fall through. If I can, that means it's reaching all the way to the back of the rotor and probably getting ejected out the bag. I'm not getting any corn to drop out here at the back of the rotor, so I don't think we're getting rotor loss, even though my sensor was showing it. I might have my sensor, the sensitivity adjusted too sensitive. But I'm not finding any grain at all here in the back part of the rotor cage. All right, let's get back here and look. We know the heavy corn in the center of the combine. We know the vast majority of that's coming from the throat or the header. Let's get out here on the, look out here on the side where, yeah, I mean, most of what I'm seeing is, me. Yeah, most of what I'm seeing right here is small shriveled kernels, the vast majority of it. So here's what I think happened. We got a real bad leak on our header. The combine itself is set relatively well. What a lot of the losses we're seeing out here on the outside is small seed that I probably got my fan turned up a little too high. It's just blowing that seed out the back because, you know, the seed weight is highly variable due to the drought. So probably need to lower my fan speed a touch, and maybe that'll clean up a lot of this losses. But ultimately, that seed that's really getting blown out, really not losing much yield anyway, and it actually might be dragging down my test weight and my grain quality. So I don't know, I might need to leave it like it is and just blow that lightweight, low quality seed out. I'm gonna mount my GoPro here under the header, see if I can see exactly where that grain is coming from there on the throat. All right, I think I finally figured out what's going on. You know, this is a 12-row header, so we got 6 rows coming from over here, all merging together into one in the same way from over here. And if you remember, back when we worked on the combine, here on my faceplate where we had some wear, I welded some wear strips that are about that thick, and I think what's happening is that's kind of retarding the flow of the ears of corn up into the feeder house there, and what that's doing is kind of causing it to get congested up in here, and all this to kind of just boil up because it's not smoothly going into the feeder house, and then, you know, knocking kernels loose. And then right here, as my, you know, gathering chains come around, it's kind of catching kernels and shooting them out the back side. So I think the way to fix that is Monday morning we're gonna come over here with a grinder, and I'm gonna leave the wear straps in, but I'm gonna weld off, I'm gonna grind off the front facing of it to kind of give it a ramp. Hopefully let stuff slide up in there a lot smoother and eliminate this problem. So anyway, we're not going to run too much longer today. So for the rest of the day, we're probably just going to try and maybe get the rest of this truck filled up, and I'll just drive slower to give the feeder house more time to get the ears up in there and prevent all that congestion, and we'll get it fixed right Monday morning.
Well, yeah, I just missed the tarp closing up, but it's my time to shine now. I got the first full load of corn. I have no idea what the moisture is. I have no idea what the bushels per acre are. But I do know that I get to go test out these bins and make sure we did them right this morning. I hope y'all can hear me, but yeah, that's enough buts. So I'm gonna drive on back and see if we got these bins straightened out. Alright, so we're going into bin number 4 here, but it's not attached to our main loop, so we're gonna have to turn the east and west loop on. So let's go ahead and do that. Turn that one on. Turn that one on. Bin 2 is shut, but the east and west loop is going. So it should be dumping into here any second now. Sure we got all the wasps, so. I know y'all can't hardly see anything. It's dropping some kernels, but definitely not as many as I've already dumped out. We'll see if we can't figure out where it's going. Well, it's not going in 2. Make sure 1 ain't open over here. Oh, I bet you, I guarantee you it's going in that loadout bin. Guaranteed. So, I'll open that. Yep, there's our corn. Alright. Yep, so I guess our loadout bin did not get shut. Anyway, that's an easy fix. I'm glad it was that this time. Alright, back to square one. Our east and west bin, or east, yeah, you know. That grain's moving a little quicker than me, so. Come on, Ben, drop me some corn. Just a little bit. Oh yeah. That's what it's supposed to be doing. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Alright. I would let y'all watch this, but you can't see it. So, we'll get that truck dumped and see what today brings. Go ahead and shut this middle door. Alright. We in business now. I'll leave that correct. What that means. So as I shut this east and west bin off, it's the weekend. Maybe run a couple more seconds. Oh yeah. That load was kind of what we were expecting. I don't know what the yield was yet. I'm gonna guess around 350 bushels an acre. But with the moisture, tested it 3 times. I got 2 22%, so 1 17%. So we're right in there about that 21 and a half average percentage, so it's not too bad. Got some low spots and it's got some hill spots out there, so they'll do some drying out over the weekend, and we're gonna hit it hard on Monday. Turn this truck off and maybe go to a tractor pull tonight.
Hey, y'all remember that vane that I pointed out to you that had gotten loose and changed positions? Yeah, trying to figure out what's wrong with the header. I forgot all about it. So what do you think happened? That's right, she came loose and she's still in there because I can hear it hitting the rotor. But I don't know if it's all mangled up and everything else. Oh yeah, she's all bent up real bad. That's gonna be a fun one to dig out. As if I don't have enough go wrong as it is, I gotta create more problems for myself that didn't have to happen just because I can't remember nothing anymore. Anyway, we dropped the header, and these little strips right here is what I was talking about, just kind of causing a little bit of a, got a little bit of a ledge here, just causing it to, just not flow in there real smoothly. So it's gonna take bring a grinder out here Monday and just try and slope that a little bit to where maybe it'll flow through there a little bit easier. I didn't think it would be that big of a deal, but maybe it is. So anyway, that's gonna be it for the soft start for corn harvest. Hopefully when we get this thing back going again Mondays, things go a little bit smoother. Now, pretty much every week out of the year, I get inundated by emails of companies and stuff wanting me to test their products, showcase their products, try their products, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the vast majority of these go into my junk email folder because I can tell from a very quick glance that it's pretty much junk, not anything I'll need, and definitely not anything I'll use. But occasionally, we'll come across something that I think we could actually get benefit from on our farm. And if you've been watching this for a while, you know that I only showcase products that I actually use and believe in. Now, it's no secret that a lot of us that run big equipment, we kind of yearn for the good old days when everything was simple and just plain mechanical. But the truth of the matter is electronics is in just about everything we use, and it is here to stay. And for just the plain mechanic, without the proper diagnostic tools, repairing our stuff or even diagnosing our stuff can sometimes be extremely problematic. And especially in our case, as you can see right here on our international truck, we've got a Caterpillar engine in it, and our Sterling water truck up there has got another Caterpillar engine in it. We've got a local Caterpillar dealer, and you think it wouldn't be any problem, but our Caterpillar dealer has made it very clear to us that they have no desire to work on trucks. Primarily heavy construction equipment and generators and irrigation pumps is the only thing that they want to work on. And last time we needed service on that truck, I had to beg and plead with them to work on it because my only other options is either Nashville or Memphis, and we're a long ways from both of them, and you're talking about a very expensive towing bill getting something down there. But anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I got an email from a company that really piqued my interest, something that I thought we could really use that would help us with diagnosing our electrical problems on any of our big trucks. So anyway, I reached back out to them, told them I might be interested, send me the product, and I'll give it a good rundown. Anyway, what we've got here, what they sent me is a Foxwell HD500 heavy-duty diagnostic and tester. It's made to use with pickups, semi-trucks, buses, anything that's got a heavy-duty diesel engine in it. And it's also supposed to work on gas engines, and we'll test that out here in a minute. But anyway, what comes in the package, you got your diagnostic scan tool here. You got multiple different connections, OBD connections, other types of connections for your various trucks. And I've already got one of those hooked up to my truck now, so let me take it over to my truck, hook it up, and show you what it's all about. Now, what a lot of dealers tell me is that Caterpillar especially is notorious for being difficult to communicate with, because used to these dealers would buy the software and stuff, and they would own the software to be able to hook up and diagnose Caterpillar engines. Well, I think quite a few years ago they went to a subscription-based fee in order to use that in order to use that software, and from my understanding, it's very, very expensive. And if you don't regularly work on Caterpillar stuff, you're not going to be able to get your money back from that annual licensing fee to be able to use the software subscription. So if this thing right here really works, this could be a lifesaver for us. Now, I'm by no means an expert on these computers and diagnosing and everything I'm about to show you, I just picked up just from playing around with it for like 20 minutes. I didn't read instruction manual or anything, and just in 15 to 20 minutes, I was able to pick up on how to do a lot of this stuff. It's very simple, very laid out, very organized. So anyway, I just want to let y'all know I completely test this thing out on my big trucks and also my Ram trucks. However, that's going to be definitely too long and too in-depth to include right here. So if you're interested in learning the ins and outs of this, how to work it, you know, what all it's capable of doing, I'll put a link to that video up here in the corner. It should also be in the video description below. So if y'all think this might be a good fit for your operation, might suit a need, y'all be sure to check out that video, get you more information, and also I'll share the link in the discount code to get this Foxwell HD500 diagnostic tester. So anyway, back to your regularly scheduled program. Let's get back to corn harvest. Well, we're out here on this fine Saturday, enjoying a little bit of college football, first day of that, and also trying to get a little ripping done on the 10 acres of corn that we got shelled yesterday. So primarily what I'm trying to do is just get the ripper good and set, because with this being Labor Day, Carter's actually got a couple days off from school early next week, and I want him on the ripper behind the combine, so just making sure it's getting set and everything. And let me tell you, there's a lot different ripping this year than it was last year. I mean, this ground is so dry and so hard. You watch behind there, it looks like it's just pulling up a slab of concrete is what it's doing. I mean, this ground is so hard, I'm not even able to get the ripper to go all the way in the ground and set on the gauge wheels, unless I'm in some place where I got some pretty deep topsoil. But when I start getting a shallower soil, it hits that fragipan, it just picks that ripper up and it's riding on top of that fragipan, because I mean, it just can't penetrate it from how dry it is. But anyway, over here on the center place, you know, I wasn't really planning on running the ripper over here because we're going to plant canola this winter, and I really wasn't wanting to loosen the soil up because I didn't want to cause any problems with you know, trying to get sprayed and everything this winter when we've got, you know, a lot of water. You know, I didn't want to get out here and make a muddy mess, create ruts and all that kind of stuff. Then I got to looking at the residue after shelling this corn, like, man, this is gonna be a lot of residue to try and plant through. And originally I was wanting to use my grain drill to plant the canola because I think I can do a good job on it, but you know, I had a couple people just say I'm gonna have a hard time getting a good stand. So what I decided to do is we're actually going to use our planter to plant the canola, because I can't afford any kind of screw-ups on my first canola crop. With as bad as this year's been, I need to hit a home run on this canola next year. So we're going to wind up using the planter, but running this ripper right on top of the row will help destroy that row of corn, especially those root balls and everything that can play havoc with the planter and seed depth and everything else. If we're able to rip those root balls up and, you know, dislodge all the corn stalks from the soil and everything, then our row cleaners can come in and have a better chance of, you know, moving this residue out of the way, getting our seed placed more accurately, and winding up with a better stand of canolas. So I decided we're just going to go ahead and rip this. Canola plant's about 3 weeks away. Hopefully give some of this residue time to decompose if we get just a little bit of this tillage going on. But in order to get this residue starting to decompose, we're going to need a rain. But I tell you what, if we don't get a rain, it doesn't matter about the residue, because we're not going to plant canola anyway, because there's absolutely no chance of getting it up. So as I do, we're just gonna try and get this 10 acres done, and then when Carter gets done with his dove hunting starting on Monday, he can hop on the tractor and hopefully, you know, get some done behind the combine, because I'm not gonna have a whole lot of time after we get done shelling corn to come in and do our ripping and then plant our cover crops and all that kind of stuff, because everything's getting ready early in a hurry this year. And I have a feeling we're not going to have a whole lot of extra time in September after corn harvest to get all of this field prep and cover crop planting out of the way. And ripping's a pretty slow process, and I want to try and get as many acres knocked out as we can before we get done with corn harvest.